Welcome to In 5 Minutes. Now let's study flowcharts. It's the second part of algorithm. Algorithm can be mentioned or algorithm can be developed using two approaches. One is pseudocode that we have seen in the previous videos, where we write the steps in the algorithm by numbering them as 1, 2, 3, 4 and using simple English-like words and mathematical expressions. Same way, flowcharts is a way of representing algorithm in a graphical manner. Here we use some geometrical figures to represent different types of steps involved in a given algorithm. Now it's a common human nature to represent a big process with the steps like this. We write some box indicate step A, then some box indicates some step B, then box some step C, and so on. We go on drawing multiple steps. For example, a big chemical process, first step, second step, third step, we draw in the form of boxes, and that is how flowcharts are drawn. So to summarize, flowcharts are nothing but graphical representation of steps to be taken to solve any problem, and it involves different geometrical figures to represent different types of steps, and arrows are used to indicate the sequence of the steps and to indicate the direction of the steps. Now let's see one by one different components which are used to draw flowcharts in case of computer science. The first component is rounded rectangle. It is used to indicate start and end of an algorithm. For example, while writing a normal algorithm, we write step 1 as start and last step as stop, and we number it. Here we have to just draw a rectangle, that is a rounded rectangle, commonly drawn like this with two edges as rounds, and in that we have to write either start or stop, whichever step we are following. Second is rhombus. It is used to indicate the input or output. For example, I want to input, let's say, two numbers. I can write it in a rhombus. Let's say input A, comma B. I can just write input and just write multiple variables over there. We can write input or we can write read also. Next is rectangle, very commonly used component. It is used to indicate some kind of calculations. For example, suppose I want to add A and B and store into C. I can simply draw a rectangle, and in that I can just write the step as C equal to A plus B. Next component is arrow. It is the most commonly used component. It is used to indicate direction of flow. It is used to also connect different parts of the algorithm or different steps in the algorithm. It is drawn downward, sometimes rightward, leftward. You can draw any way. It can be either downward, upward, leftward or rightward. Commonly it is not drawn slanting. See, for example, here I want to show the flow like this. Algorithm starts, then it inputs A and B, then it adds A and B and put into C. So I can draw the figure or I can draw the algorithm in this fashion. Next kind of component is called as diamond, which is used for decision making. It is drawn with one input arrow and two output arrows. Now how it works, let's see. It is used for selection as well as iteration statements. It is drawn somewhat like this, a diamond shape with some input arrow, that is to indicate the previous step, and it will have two arrows going out, one indicated as yes and one indicated by label no. Now what do you mean by that exactly? That we'll try to understand. At this stage I want to make a decision, is A greater than B? So I can write over here, is A greater than B? We write it with a question mark. Now if this is true, then follow these steps. That is A greater than B? Yes, then follow these steps. If A greater than B is not true, then follow these steps. So you can draw again over here such kind of steps over here also. It is used for iteration as well as selection statements. The next and last one we'll see is circle. It is also called as connector. It is used to indicate jump to other part of the algorithm or jump to other process with the given label. It's not label, it is label. Label is just name given to some step in a circle. Now where it is used? It is used commonly in a big flowchart which has a lot of decision making statements and which is a very long algorithm. I'll show you with this some example. Now take an example over here where we'll use circle. See, here I used circle over here and here, and even the other two parts. Now let's say it's a long process and with lots of steps in the flowchart. It starts from here and goes down like this. Now here I have to make some decision, and accordingly I have to take yes decision over here and no over here. Now if yes is true, I have to go to this process. So I label this process or label this part as A, and write AO here. So this indicates that if the decision of this box is yes, then follow these steps. Now, if the decision is no, then follow these steps. We'll label it by some name B and write same BO here. This will indicate if no decision, then jump to this process. Now it is not necessary always to put circle and connect the different parts. Commonly it is used to connect different parts of the flowchart if the flowchart spans on multiple pages or multiple parts of the file. For example, let's say this page number 1, page number 2 and page number 3. The flowchart is not ending on one page, so we can connect the last step over here with some name and connect it to the first step in the next page. So it's the same flowchart going on multiple pages. To connect them, we use labels. Thank you.